the status of Matungulu Farmers Company Limited. This statement will be requested by Honorable Joyce Kamene, the Member of Parliament for Machakos County. The committee responsible for this will be Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Industrialization of key heritage, ecological and tourism sites in Kenya. That statement will be requested by the Member of Parliament for North Hor, Honorable Adewario, and the relevant committee there is Tourism and Wildlife. There are statements which will be responded to, such as the disappearance of Mr. Galgalo Bagaja Malicha. This statement was requested by the Honorable Member Naomi Wako, the woman member of the National Assembly for Marsabit County, and the relevant committee there is Administration and Internal Security. The other statement which will be responded to is police harassment and restrictions on small-scale mining activities in Moyale constituency. The statement has been sought by the Honorable Member, Professor Guyo Jaldesa, the Member of Parliament for Moyale. The relevant committee is Administration and Internal Security. It is also notified that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42A, subsection 6B, the following Cabinet Secretaries will provide report on policy issues and respond to questions in plenary on Wednesday afternoon, and that is for tomorrow. The Cabinet Secretary for Education will provide an update on the disbursement of capitation funds to schools and also respond to a number of questions that have been asked by the members of Parliament. These questions are available on the order paper. The order paper, you can access it on parliament.go.ke. It is an elaborate document that will guide you on the questions that will be asked, and the Cabinet Secretary that will be appearing, such as the Cabinet Secretary for Health as well. There are questions that the Cabinet Secretary will be responding to. They are all detailed in the order paper that is available on parliament.go.ke, a very detailed website that perhaps you can go check out so that you be updated on the business of the House this afternoon and tomorrow as well. Also this afternoon, there will be the first reading of the Public Participation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2025. This bill is courtesy of the Honourable Member Utiende Amolo and the Honourable Member Samuel Chepkonga. And the principal object of this bill is to provide a framework for effective public participation. The bill gives effect to the constitutional principle of participation of the people enshrined in Article 1, Article 1, Article 10, Article 35, Article 69, Article 118, Article 174, Article 184, Article 196, Article 201, and Article 232 of the Constitution. The bill also provides guiding principles to be adhered to by institutions conducting public participation. The bill further designates the responsible authorities for purposes of the development of specific guidelines for public participation in each public institution. Now, Part 1 of the bill contains preliminary provisions and includes the short title, interpretation, object of the Act, application of the Act, and principles of public participation. Part 2 of the bill designates the responsible authorities for the purpose of implementation of the Act. Part 3 of the bill provides for general guidelines for public participation and includes provisions. If you're just joining us, on your screen is the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula. He has walked into the chambers. Let me now hand you over for this live broadcast. My name is Edward Kabasa. Enjoy your viewing.
Nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge, kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu. Takusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tunakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tulikutanika hapa na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote tutakayofikisha mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao hajazao msikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sergeant, ring the quorum bell.
In the National Assembly, and that means that the business of the House cannot begin. And right now the quorum bell is ringing, and respective leadership.
Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Yes. Okay. Take the nearest seats. Honorable members, welcome back. I warmly welcome you back to the House after your brief recess. As we resume our work, I trust that we will complete all pending priority matters before the close of this final segment of the 4th session. It's worth noting that under our standing order, several bills and other items of business will lapse at the end of this season. I therefore direct the clerk to devise a procedural mechanism that will preserve any critical unfinished business, allowing it to resume seamlessly in the 6th session. As you may be aware, the National Assembly and the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KBC, have since 2009 jointly convened annual dialogue under the Speaker's Roundtable. These sessions gather leaders from the House, key parliamentary committees, and prominent stakeholders across pivotal economic sectors, agriculture services, including tourism, finance and retail, manufacturing and technology, for open, informal exchanges. The goal is to gain a cleaner grasp of the obstacles confronting these industries and to pinpoint essential legislative and administrative actions to bolster their progress. Over the past 14 years, these engagements have proved indispensable, yielding policy and legislative reforms that have profoundly shaped our economy. From these collaborative forums have sprung vital legal changes that strengthen the business landscape, accelerate economic growth, and advance national development. To this end, honorable members, the 2025 Speakers Roundtable engagement is scheduled to be held from 6th to 8th November 2025 at the Pride Inn Hotel, Mombasa County. The meeting will be held under the theme, From Policy to Practice, Delivering a Practicable and Competitive Investment Climate. As such, the primary focus of the 2025 Roundtable engagement will be on the evaluation of taxation regimes, the enhancement of investment protection, export competitiveness, financial sector stability, and evidence-based legislation. These discussion areas are aimed at fostering a competitive business environment, strengthening governance, and advancing socioeconomic development. The forum brings together the House leadership, all chairpersons and vice chairpersons of committees, and the representatives of the business community under the umbrella of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KEPSA. In this regard, honorable members, I wish to inform the House of the event and extend an invitation to the House leadership, all chairpersons and vice chairpersons of committees and selected members of the departmental committees on finance and national planning, health, energy, communication, information and innovation, and trade, industry, and cooperatives to the meeting. I thank you. Take the nearest seats, members at the bar. The nearest seats. Honorable members, allow me to recognize a visiting delegation from the National Assembly of the Republic of Namibia. I wish to introduce to you, honorable members, a delegation from the National Assembly of the Parliament of Namibia, seated in the Speaker's row. The delegation comprises the following 7 members of the Parliamentary Committee on Urban and Rural Development and Land Reform. The Honorable Eliphas Dingara MP, Chairperson and Lead of Delegation. The Honorable Derek Klazen MP. The Honorable Abednego Hishono MP. The Honorable Marilyn Mbakera MP. The Honorable Elda Filipe MP. The Honorable Otile Haitota MP. The Honorable Eneas Mvula MP. Honorable members, the delegation, accompanied by 2 staff members, is on a benchmarking visit to the National Assembly of Kenya to learn, share experiences, and exchange best practices with our departmental committees, particularly on matters of urban and rural development and land reform. Their visit is aimed at strengthening their committee's oversight and legislative role in these critical sectors. On behalf of the House, and indeed on my own behalf, I warmly welcome them to the Parliament of Kenya and wish them fruitful engagement and a pleasant stay in our country. Karibu sana. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. You may take your seats, honorable visitors. Honorable members, the next communication is to inform the House on the election of Dr. Beatrice Adagala as the Vice Chairperson of the CPA Africa Region Exco and Senator Tabitha Mutinda as a board member of the Parliamentary Network on the World Bank and IMF. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that I am in receipt of communication from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA Africa Region Secretariat, conveying a notification of the election of the Honorable Dr. Beatrice Adagala, member for Vihiga County, as the Vice Chairperson of the Executive Committee of the CPA Africa Region for a period of 1 year covering 2025-2026 term. This is a significant milestone not only for Honorable Dr. Adagala personally, but also for our Parliament, as it underscores the recognition and confidence placed in our institution within the wider Commonwealth parliamentary community. Accordingly, this communication serves to formally appraise the House of Dr. Adagala's elevation to this important and prestigious position. I hasten to mention that we've just come from a meeting in Bridgetown, Barbados, where Beatrice Adagala very ably chaired the meeting for the African group. in the presence of yours truly. And she couldn't resist referring to yours truly as Papa Waroma. Honorable members, in the same breath, I wish to inform the House that Senator Tabitha Mutinda, nominated senator, has been elected to the board of the Parliamentary Network on the World Bank and IMF for the period 2025-27, representing East Africa. This international body promotes transparency, accountability, and inclusive development. Her election is an honor for Kenya and our region, showing growing confidence in our leadership. It also strengthens our engagement with the global financial institutions and discussions on development, governance, and sustainable development. Honorable members, on behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I wish to extend our warmest congratulations to Dr. Adagala and Senator Mutinda on their well-deserved election. I further urge all members to accord them support and cooperation as they undertake their duties and responsibilities in promoting parliamentary diplomacy and excellence. Thank you. Next.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Members, take the nearest seats. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Thank you. Honourable members, I have a petition to present regarding regularization of various public forest land claims. Honourable members, Article 119 of the Constitution accords any person the right to petition Parliament to consider any matters within its authority. Further, Standing Order 225-2B requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member. Honourable members, Section 34 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act, Cap 2016, so the 2016 Cap 385 provides for the revocation of the registration of a public forest through a petition to the National Assembly and outlines the specific steps to be followed in consideration of such a petition. Honourable members, in this regard, I wish to report to the House that my office has received a petition from the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, Dr. Deborah Barasa, concerning the regularization of various public forest land claims. Honourable members, in the petition, the Cabinet Secretary notes that the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry is mandated inter alia to formulate climate change and environmental policies, promote low-carbon technologies, restore and protect strategic water towers, control pollution, conserve wetlands, manage forest resources, and promote afforestation, reforestation, and agroforestry initiatives. Honourable members, the Ministry indicates that it has received several petitions from members of the public claiming settlement within various public forest lands across the country. In response to these claims, an interministerial committee was constituted to investigate and review the matters. Additionally, several petitions seeking the degazettement of public forests have been presented to this House and referred to the Public Petitions Committee. Honourable members, the Ministry reports that the findings of the Interministerial Committee reveal that the areas under claim are currently inhabited by persons engaged in non-forestry activities and who have resided in those areas for prolonged periods. Honourable members, the Ministry further informs the House that following a review of the committee's report, the Kenya Forest Service Board in writing did recommend the regularization of these settlements through the variation of the respective forest boundaries in accordance with Section 34 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act, Cap 385. Honourable members, the Cabinet Secretary clarifies that following the recommendation of the Kenya Forest Service Board, the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry prepared and submitted a joint Cabinet memorandum on the determination of public forest land claims. The memorandum was duly considered and approved by the Cabinet, thereby authorizing the variation of the affected forest boundaries to regularize the said settlements and forward it for consideration and approval by Parliament. Honourable members, consequently, the petition is presented to the House pursuant to Article 37, 62 and 119 of the Constitution, as well as Section 34 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act, Cap 385, which empowers any person to petition Parliament to recommend the variation or revocation of the registration of a public forest. Honourable members, the Cabinet Secretary avers that the Ministry intends to execute the degazettement in phases prioritizing the following forest areas. A. South Nandi Forest, Chepkumia Block, declared via Proclamation number 76 of 1936 and Legal Notice number 174 of 1964, having a total area of approximately 17,960.5 hectares. The petitioner avers that the farmers from the hilly terrain of Chepkumia exchanged their land with forest land. The proposed area for degazettement measures approximately 989.17 hectares and is now fully settled. B. Turbo Forest Manzini Block, declared via Legal Notice number 145 of 14th June 1968, having a total area of approximately 7,404 hectares. The petition avers that this was intended for settlement of landless quarters in 1995 within the Manzini Forest Block was in Gishu County. The proposed area for degazettement is approximately 1,241.5 hectares and is now fully settled. C. Mount Elgon Forest Jepyuk Settlement Scheme, declared by a Proclamation number 44 of 1932 and Legal Notice number 174 of 1964, having a total area of approximately 91,997.16 hectares. The petitioner avers that the Chepyuk Settlement Scheme was established in 1974 to settle the Elgoni Dorobo community previously residing within the moorlands of the Mount Elgon Forest Reserve. Phase 1 of the approximately 3,568 hectares was excised via Legal Notice number 51 of 1974, while in 2016 the Cabinet approved the gazettement of 4,647 hectares at Phase 2 and 3, which are now fully settled. D. Shiru Shaviringa Kakamega Forest, declared via Proclamation number 14 of 1933 and Legal Notice number 174 of 1964, having a total approximately of 23,777.30 hectares. The petition avers that the Shiru Shaviringa Settlement Scheme was established in 1988 as compensation for land acquired of public facilities including Vihiga District Headquarters, Mbale Hospital, and Okoli Secondary School. It is proposed for degazettement of 94.99 and 36 hectares for Shiru and Shaviringa areas, respectively, and both are fully settled. Honourable members, the Ministry concludes by praying that the National Assembly A. urgently approves the variation of the boundaries of the following public forests to regularize existing settlements 1, excuse me, South Nandi at Chepkumia area, approximately 989.17 hectares. 2, sorry. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats, Mama Machakos. I repeat, urgently approves the variation of the boundaries of the following public forests to regularize the existing settlements. 1, South Nandi at Chepkumia area, approximately 989.17 hectares. 2, Tarbo at Manzini area, approximately 1,241.5 hectares. 3, Mount Elgon at Chebiuku area, approximately 4,647 hectares. And 4, Kakamega Forest at Shiro and Shaviringa areas, approximately 94.99 and 36 hectares respectively. Considers the petitions and issues appropriate resolutions in accordance with Article 119 of the Constitution and Section 34 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act. Honourable members, having confirmed that the issues raised in this petition fall squarely within the jurisdiction of this House and that they are not sub judice before any court or other constitutional body, I hereby commit the petition seeking the degazettement of specified public forest lands in Tarbo, Manzini area, Mount Elgon, Chebiuku area, Kakamega Forest, Shiru, Shaviringa area, the Departmental Committee on Environment, Climate Change, and Forestry for consideration and a report to the House in accordance with the petitions to Parliament procedure Cap 7E. Since the petition concerning the South Nandi Forest at Chepkumia area is already under consideration by the Public Petitions Committee, I direct the committee to prioritize and conclude the deliberations on the matter. I now, therefore, direct both the Departmental Committee on Environment, Climate Change and Forestry and the Public Petitions Committee to expeditiously consider the petitions and report their findings to the House for consideration in accordance with Section 34 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act, Cap 2016. Cap 385, and Standing Order 2272. Karemba, your committee was under scrutiny by the House Business Committee. I know you are a new chairman. There is apprehension that your committee doesn't process business quickly. I know that you are a new chairman. I hope you live beyond the conduct of the previous leadership. Otherwise, we will shift the petition to the Environmental Committee. Yes, Milemba.
Honourable Speaker, thank you for this chance. I want to congratulate and thank the CS Environment for bringing this petition to the House for the matter concerning the various forests that are being degazetted. And you will notice, Honourable Speaker, that some of them came in use as early as 1964, others 1974, and others 1988. Specifically, I want to speak on the Shiru Shaviringa forest, which was actually created, the settlement was created in 1988. That the people living in these areas have suffered a very long time, and that they have been living there without the surety that they should develop the land on which they are living. They have been unable to do permanent structures on that land for all those years since 1988. I happen to have taught at Moigas Vokoli, where some of them left in the years 1991, 1992, but still these people don't have the title deeds. And even those who left areas of Mbale, where we have the district headquarters and the Mbale hospital, are still suffering up there. And therefore, this is a petition which I will call upon the committees that have been given this mandate to execute very quickly so that these people can get their title deeds and start living a normal life. They can take loans on the title deeds that they'll be having, because currently as they live there, the land they have cannot be utilized business-wise. They cannot use the title deeds, which they don't have, of course, to take loans and develop those places. And I would want to ask the committees that have been given this mandate to execute quickly so that the people of Shaviringa, the people of Shiru, can get their title deeds and start being normal Kenyans with title deeds operating on that land correctly. I would also indicate that the petitions committee, like you have indicated, should also quickly execute the one of Nandi, because it is true that even that one came early, and by now they should have executed so that the title deeds should have been given out by now. Honorable Speaker, without much ado, I want to thank the CS for that and ask this House to quickly expedite, because these are members of our community who are living almost like squatters on land that otherwise they surrendered because they wanted public utilities like Moi Gas Vokoli, like Mbale district headquarters, together with Mbale Hospital, to exist. Yet they have suffered the punishment of having to stay without title deeds for now more than 40, 30, and even some 50 years. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Lelmengit, take a minute each, or 2 minutes at least.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. First, Honorable Speaker, let me thank the Ministry for Environment for expediting this process of the degazettement on land exchange programs. Also, Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the Petitions Committee for bringing forth and also visiting the sites in Chepkumia. One of the areas that is affected, Honorable Speaker, on this land exchange program is Chepkumia in Mgwen constituency in Nandi County. Honorable Speaker, this has been long overdue. Since these people have been out there, Honorable Speaker, for the last almost 30 years, they have not gotten their rightful title deeds, and they also live in inhabitable areas, Honorable Speaker. This comes at the right time, Honorable Speaker, so that these people can be resettled on time and be given their rightful rights, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in Chepkumia land exchange program, we remember the people of Ngerek, we have the people of Koibem, and there are also other territories, Honorable Speaker, for Kiptuya in Kapkangani. Honorable Speaker, I will still come to you on the same, because they are also submitting their petitions, which will be coming to this House very soon. I would also want to add for the areas of Kobujoy, which they have public offices, which also requires your attention, Honorable Speaker, so that we can have this land exchange program solved and settled once and for all. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I also thank you for the effort that you've put in place, having visited your office a number of times. Thank you, and I know the people of Mgwen will enjoy their rightful title deeds and ownership of the land. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I submit.
Yes, that is who? Kitayama, Marwa, sikuone vizuri. 2 minutes.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, nichukue nafasi hii kushukuru na vile vile kushukuru serikali kwa hatua ambayo wamechukua. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, inashangaza sana na inasikitisha sana kwamba wakati ambapo tunafanya jambo zuri kwa upande fulani wa
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Club 1 Extra. Your host, DJ Nix, for the night. Unfortunately, Kalonji is not around. She had some things to do, but atarudi next week. So today, we are here vibing each and every day, manze. Today, even I've decided to start with it's a new music from Irasta. Ndio hiyo sasa tunaanza nayo pole pole tu. But also, I have to ask your opinion on something, manze, guys. History ya Foina na Kalifikari, unaonaje? Mnawaambia wameamuaje nayo? Wameamua nayo mbaya. Well, but anyway, give us your comments pale, #Club1Extra, hapa tu. Ndio hiyo sasa, twende nalo.
Aliwe na standing orders discuss hizi. You are anticipating debate.
Mheshimiwa wakavunja sheria hivyo.
You will say all those good things you are saying when the petition report is filed and open to debate.
Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Nashukuru sana. Mama Dagala.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this time, and also I want to thank members for congratulating me having been elected as the Vice Chair, CPA Africa. Mr. Speaker, I also want to echo on the petition that is going on about the gazettement of and ensuring the people of Shiru, Shaviringa, the people who migrated from Mbale, who paved the way for the county headquarters to be constructed, and the people of Vokoli, who are moved to those sides of Shaviringa. I want to thank the ministry for bringing in this petition timely. As you can even remember over the weekend, Mr. Speaker, there is somebody who has been in the mortuary for over 6 years just because of land issues. And land issues are very emotive. We have struggled with the leadership of Vihiga County to ensure our people who are settled in Shaviringa and other areas in Nandi to be given title deeds, Mr. Speaker, sir. So I have to thank the ministry for coming up with this petition so that it can be worked on very fast, so that our people who are in Nandi, who are in Shaviringa, who are in the other areas, please, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say thank you for this, and it should be worked on urgently so that our people can be settled and live a dignified life like other Kenyans. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's good to be back here after the short recess. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, November 04, 2025. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the years ended 30th June 2025 and certificates therein in respect of 1. Development of school infrastructure in Nyamira County Project, credit number KF Loan 853, State Department for Basic Education. 2. East Africa Skills for Transformation and Regional Integration Project, East Strip, IDA Loan, credit number 6334 KE, Ministry of Education, State Department for Technical, Vocational Education and Training. 3. East Africa Skills Transformation and Regional Integration Project, ES Strip Grant, credit number 6334 KE, Kisumu National Polytechnic. 4. Garissa University. 5. GOK UNICEF Education for Young People Program, State Department for Basic Education. 6. Kenya Industry and Entrepreneurship Project, IDA credit number 6268 KE, State Department for Industry. 7. Kenya Institute Policy Research and Analysis, KIPRA. 8. Kenya Jobs and Economic Transformation Project, IDA credit number 7450 KE, Kenya Development Corporation. 9. Kenya Primary Education Equity in Learning Disbursed Linked Indicator Program, credit number 7063 KE, Teacher Service Commission. 10. Kenya Primary Education Equity in Learning Program, grant number D991 KE, Teacher Service Commission. 11. Kenya Primary Education Equity in Learning Project, IDA grant number D991 KE and credit number 7067 KE and grant numbers TF C306 KE and TF C307 KE State Department for Basic Education. 12, Lake Victoria Water and Sanitation Project grant number CKE 1093-02M, credit number CKE 109301L, and EAB number F1 number 083890, Serapis number 2011-0619, Lake Victoria South Water Works Development Agency. Number 13, Multinational Lake Victoria Maritime Communications Transport MLVMCT, Kenya Maritime Authority. 14, National Council for Population and Development. 15, Northern Waterworks Development Agency. 16, Promotion of Youth Employment through Scholarships Phase 2, Wings to Fly 4, project grant number BMZ number 2018-67399, State Department for Technical Vocational Education and Training. 17, Secondary Education Quality Improvement Project grant credit number 6138, KE Teachers Service Commission. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, support to technical vocational education and training for relevant skills development project, TVET project phase 2.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 4th November 2025. Report on the Departmental Committee on Labour on approval hearing of Honorable Engineer Michael Toya Kingi for the appointment as a member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chonga.
Thank you, Speaker. Approval hearing of a member of the appointment for the appointment as a member of the Salaries and Remuneration. Thank you.
Go on, Chonga.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of motion on the following, that taking into consideration the findings of the Parliamentary Committee on Labour in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as a member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission laid on the table of the House on the Tuesday, 4th November 2025, and pursuant to the provision of Section 7, Subsection 11 of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Act, Cap 412D, and Section 3 and Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves appointment of Honorable Engineer Michael Toya Kingi as a member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chonga. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Yes, Donya, what is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When you said about motions, I was waiting for a response from the motion that we had tabled to your office about the T bonuses, Mr. Speaker. We have not been given any communication.
Can you check with the table office?
No, they are not giving full information. They are saying that you have to permit.
Pardon?
You have to give permission. That's what they said.
He approves.
Then they don't give correct information, Mr.
Yes.
Speaker. That matter is very oppressive, Mr. Speaker, to our farmers. We are not really feeling well about it. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, when you are not there, they paid farmers 10 shillings. What can you buy with the 10 shillings, Mr. Speaker? You can't even buy a matchbox. 10 shillings, Mr. Speaker,
per bonus. Is that okay to the farmers?
Oh.
We've missed to give our farmers equity, respect. We have treated them like second-hand citizens, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Donya.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Can you see the Speaker in the office tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning?
I've not even said yes. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'll see you tomorrow and welcome back.
Thank you. Honorable members, order. Order. Allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery Kenya basketball referees officials from Starehe, Nairobi. Thank you. And 2 CITAM schools from Eldoret, Kapseret constituency was engaged. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome you to the House of Parliament. Thank you. Oh, yes, Bashir?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to raise a matter that is very, very important.
Order. Take your seat. Take your seat. I know I gave you an opportunity. I'll give you when we reach that order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, Commissioner Makau. Take your seat. Honorable members, I have been requested by the member for Elgeyo Marakwet County, Caroline Ngelechei, to give an opportunity to make a statement about the tragedy that befell their county and the country indeed. She's not available today. She will do so tomorrow at 2:30. But the honest as a house, I think it's important that we show empathy and solidarity with our compatriots who have suffered a terrible tragedy through mudslides and the floods in Elgeyo Marakwet. I've seen in the media that the body count is reached about 30, and we're still counting. So as a responsible house, as we wait for Ngelechei's statement tomorrow, whereafter I'll allow a few of you to send messages of condolences and empathy, it's important that we be upstanding and observe a minute's silence. May the souls of the affected compatriots rest in eternal peace. Thank you. Those who will wish to make a comment on this tomorrow afternoon. Next order. Order 7. Okay. Bashir, now you can...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of order on a matter that is very, very important to this House and the members. The matter concerns the 22 and 10% of the Kera constituency roads that have now been drastically reduced through a letter by the DG Kera on 31st October 2025. Honorable Speaker, Kera roads and CDF are equalizers across the country. And it's unfortunate that both CDF and Kera are under attack from various institutions of this country. Despite the fact that both these two funds are so dear and resonate well with the constituents and the locals back home. It's unfortunate that the reductions were almost a whopping 52%, if not more. That itself is too drastic for such kind of reductions. Honorable Speaker, remember, we already have an outstanding amount of 18 million that have not been sent to the constituencies as part of the agreements. As we speak, KWS and the counties have been given their money, but the constituencies have not received the 18 million. I don't know why members of parliament or this house is taken around or is held in contempt. Honorable Speaker, this is a matter that is very, very important. The CS has 10%. If there are gaps to be filled, I think he is able to use the 10% that is under his docket for his reallocations. But trying to readjust, especially downwards, the 22% and 10% of the constituency roads is rather too unfortunate. We expected an upward increase. We decided to let it go and say, let it remain as it is, as we passed on in this house. Now it has been reduced drastically. These are roads that affect the local monarchy on the ground. As I said, it's an equalizer. There are certain constituencies that cannot get other funding from other road projects. They only wait for the 22 and 10%. Now that has been reduced. Where do they go? Where do they go to? I think this is a matter that is very, very important, that this House needs to discuss it, and in fact, to do away with all businesses and even some on the CS for roads and transport. We will not be taking this thing lying down, Honorable Speaker. I want to urge the members of this House to flex their muscles for once and tell the executive that is trying to do this that this is not going anywhere and we're not going to accept it. Enough, as has been said, is enough. We are going towards the elections. There are certain roles that have been done. We have commitments from the constituents. In fact, these reductions affect so much such that they've already done procurement in terms of advertisement. Now, you have advertised for works and services, and then you are saying it has been reduced. Honorable Speaker, I want this House to stand tall for the first time and tell whoever has written this circular or this letter that it is not going anywhere and that they must withdraw it, and that the CS himself, no any other person, must come here as early as tomorrow morning to answer to the members on this matter. And therefore, I urge this House to suspend all businesses to discuss this matter. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order. Honorable Bashir, I gave you an opportunity to raise a point of order, not to incite the House. Honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. Order. Kimilu. Order. It's out of order to shout the way you are doing. Honorable members, indeed, the Honorable Bashir saw me in my chambers, and I raised this matter before the House Business Committee. Members who attend the House Business Committee know this. And we directed the Majority Leader, Owen Bayer, who was in attendance, to liaise with the Chair of Roads, the member from Dia, and the Minister of the Ministry, so that we do not engage in haphazard discussions, to bring a comprehensive response to this statement tomorrow at 2:30, whereafter you will be able to enrich whatever will be before the House. And if, as your Speaker, I find that the explanations are inadequate, I'll direct the Minister to appear here the next day so that he can be able to answer your queries. Owen Bayer, that's what we agreed in the House Business Committee, right?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, yes, we did agree on the same. As matter was raised there, and Honorable Speaker, I'm in touch with the Cabinet Secretary, and he's studying the whole scenario and will give us a statement tomorrow.
GK, and yes, GK.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have raised the same matter with the Cabinet Secretary and the DG, Kera, and we have agreed to work on a better formula so that our members are satisfied. Now, honorable members, I think if you agree to listen to me, what I'm saying is that we will want to work with a formula that will not disadvantage us. As a member of parliament, I will not be happy with any reduction of the 22 and 10% allocation. And I will support that we get an increment, not a decrease of the amount.
So members, can we deal with this tomorrow? Okay. Yes, Kainan, what is it? I thought we discussed this in the House Business Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Honorable Bashir. In addition to this, there is also the issue of the court case between the Council of Governors and the Ministry of the same levy. And in the last Kamukunji, Mr. Speaker, none other than you has truly informed us that everything has been sorted out. As we speak today, the Council of Governors got their share. KWS also got their share. What is missing, is still hanging, is about 18 million from every constituency. We'll also want to know, as they respond, the whereabouts of that figure, because we agreed here, it was consensus, the court case was withdrawn, the Council of Governors got theirs, KWS got theirs, Kenya Forest Service also got theirs. So where is the 18 million that is missing from each of the constituencies? And secondly, Mr. Speaker, as also you attempt to solve this, I want to urge the chairman, my good friend, the chairman Rhodes, it's unfair for this House to agree on a formula and somebody in the executive just goes behind somewhere, revise the same and bring the same as an agenda. I think it is the high time, and I want to agree with the Honorable Bashir, that this House must be respected and we deserve better, way of seeing things than the way we are being treated right now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's leave it there. We'll deal with this tomorrow at 2:30. GK and Bayer, make sure that you come with not only a response, but a reasonable and acceptable response. Yes, Wamboka?
The same breath, Honorable Speaker.
You said different. Now you say on the same breath.
No. It's a different issue, Honorable Speaker. Restoration of the glory of this House. Honorable Speaker, Treasury is micromanaging the National Assembly. That today, if a member wants to travel outside of this country, the Treasury is expected to deal with that issue based on a member-to-member basis, Honorable Speaker. They are also purporting to run our payroll, Honorable Speaker. It is now happening differently because initially, once we pass monies in this House, the budget for National Assembly would come after the clerk applies, and then the clerk would deal with us. But now what is happening, Honorable Speaker, is the micromanaging of the National Assembly by the Treasury, Honorable Speaker. We would need the Minister for Finance to give a statement about this, Honorable Speaker. It has affected even the constituency offices for both NGAF and MPs, Honorable Speaker, that it is even delaying disbursements because now they have put so many bottlenecks, Honorable Speaker. Your guidance, please.
Honorable members, the Speaker is not aware of any attempt to micromanage Parliament by any department of government. And indeed, if there was, it will be resisted. Number one, when you travel out of the country, it is exclusively in the purview of the Speaker to give you authority to travel or not to travel. There's no appellate structure to that. And the Treasury does not come in. In the event that your trips don't materialize, sometimes it may be due to general delayed exchequer releases or accounting issues. Number two, this House is one of the three arms of government, independent and interdependent with other arms. And there is no way we can be micromanaged by anybody. We are an independent Parliamentary Service Commission, and any delays in disbursing money even to your offices, I always instruct the clerk to communicate with members. Sometimes we hold Kamkunjis here to deal with it. And the head of the Treasury now, the Honorable John Badi, is an immediate former member of this House. If we made an attempt to micromanage this House, it will not be misguided, but it will also fail. So Wamboka, rest assured that no such thing will be allowed to happen. Yes, in Zambia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As we debate and discuss about the 18 million, we have also not received a 2024-2025 6 million from each constituency, from Kera. And I cannot hear anyone asking about it. Not unless it is only my constituency which has not received the 6 million.
All of us. All of us.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. As we discuss about the 18 million, we have a balance of 6 million for 2024-2025, which has not yet been dispersed from the Kera kit. Yes. So I was wondering if it is only my constituency which has not received, or it is all of us.
Owen Bayer, you note that with the karaoke. Yes, Junet, did you?
Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with members that this issue of RLMF must be dealt with, as you directed, Mr. Speaker. It's a very important matter to the House, Mr. Speaker, and it needs to come to a conclusion because we have discussed it for quite some time now, before we even went to recess and after that. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to also bring to your attention a principality that we have been using in this House, Mr. Speaker, on issues like the ones that has been raised by my colleague, Honorable Wamboka. Mr. Speaker, there are issues that we need to deal with them at Kamkunji level. Issues of emoluments, issues of travel. Because, Mr. Speaker, Parliament is not loved in this country. So when you bring it on the floor of the House, those kind of issues, it has very negative implications on Parliament, Mr. Speaker. It's like when you are, when you want to shave your hair, there are hairs that you can shave in the public and there are others you close yourself in the door. So, Mr. Speaker, now if we shave those kind of hairs outside here, people will fight us, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to guide the members who are maybe still learning the process. There are issues that we need to shave internally. So please, those important issues, request the Speaker as the head of this place to call for a Kamkunji, then we deal with those ministers properly. But the issue of RLMF is a public issue, that one is okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And I want to repeat, honorable members, there is not a single soul that helps the Speaker to manage your travels. Any member who travels under the approval of Mr. Speaker and nobody else. So all of you who travel know that the Treasury has nothing to do with it. And when I give Wanjala or anybody an opportunity to travel, we don't seek the Treasury's concurrence. You travel because the authority of the Speaker has come your way to travel. So let it be very clear. At least here, if you have any issues, the Treasury is innocent. Let's deal with our issues here. Jen Kihara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this chance. On the onset, let me congratulate Dr. Beatrice Adangara and Rehab Mutinda on their new assignment. Congratulations once more. Mr. Speaker, I was hoping I would be able to read this statement before the start of KCSE, but I'll, however, read it because...
If it's overtaken by time, you can state and go and recast it and bring it within the context of what is happening today. But it's up to you, it's your statement.
Let me read it.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44 2C, I rise to request a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Education regarding exclusion from our students from schools on unpaid school fees. Honorable Speaker, the continued exclusion of Form 4 students who started their exams yesterday from school for unpaid tuition fees poses significant challenge, particularly as they approach the 2025 KCSE, whereas sending them home is driven by schools' efforts to collect unpaid fees. The practice not only intensifies financial strain on low-income households, but also disrupts learning. It also threatens to undermine the current and future academic prospects of the vulnerable students and jeopardizes their preparation for a critical milestone resulting in education inequity. Honorable Speaker, the excluded Form 4 students, particularly in schools within Naivasha constituency, are forced to miss out on critical study time while still being expected to excel in their exam. This disruption heightens vulnerability of affected students to negative peer influences and social vices such as drug abuse and alcoholism. In desperate attempts to raise school fees, many students resort to hazardous casual labor or extreme cases immorality, exposing them to unsafe environment and significant health risks. These challenges not only jeopardize their academic performance, but also increase the likelihood of long-term consequences, such as academic failure and compromised future opportunities, perpetuating cycles of poverty and marginalization. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Education on the following. Actions being taken by the Ministry of Education to address the exclusion of those students from schools within Naivasha constituency, ensuring their prompt return to class and prevent academic setbacks and safeguard their future opportunities. And, Mr. Speaker, measures being taken to ensure that Form 4 students remain in school despite outstanding fees and interventions by the ministry to cushion schools from financial strain due to low capitation or lack of school fees. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Education, yes, Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me before the chair, as I also support Honorable Jane. But, Mr. Speaker, this matter we canvassed before we went to recess when we were discussing the issue of capitation. And, Mr. Speaker, it was raised on the floor, the matter of sending students home. It's something we need clarification. And I say that because the CS is meant to appear this week, Mr. Speaker.
The CS will be here tomorrow at 3.
Yes. So my point is, Mr. Speaker, the CS, maybe through the leadership of the House, should tell this House the directives and circulars they issue to the schools. Do they count, Mr. Speaker? Because there was a circular on the time of attending classes. There was a circular that students should not be sent home. There was a circular, Mr. Speaker, of even not holding certificates in school. But they are all not being respected, Mr. Speaker. So we expect that when the CS comes tomorrow, these are the issues he should also refer to, so that he's actually briefed, Mr. Speaker, to brief this House. Are they just mere papers, or are they just PR management of members or students, Mr. Speaker?
You notify the CS on those additional concerns for tomorrow. I don't see the chair of education. Any member from education? Yes, Gisairo, 2 weeks. Tell your chair. Bernard Kitur. Bernard Kitur.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding the operations of multinational payment and services, MasterCard Incorporated and Visa Incorporated in the country. Honorable Speaker, the National Payment Systems Act, Cap 491A, provides the framework that govern electronic payments networks. These networks facilitate electronic transactions by linking the banks, merchants, and consumers to facilitate secure and efficient payment processing. MasterCard and Visa card electronic payment systems have been operating in the country since 2012 and 2016 respectively, offering payment solutions widely used by financial institutions and consumers in the country. However, noting these systems are foreign-owned entities that process significant volumes of transactions, there is need to ensure transparency, accountability, and compliance with the national financial and tax laws, including the remittances of taxes to the government. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding the following. Number one, the number of people and institutions integrated into the MasterCard and Visa card payment systems in the country, categorized by financial and non-financial institution, and the type of card being debit, credit, or prepaid. Secondly, the total value of transaction processed by MasterCard and Visa card over the last 3 financial years. Third, the status of tax compliance by the 2 payment systems, including details of taxes remitted to the government in the last 3 financial years. Number 4, the mechanisms implemented by KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority, in assessing and collecting taxes from global payment systems, and any challenges encountered in the tax assessment and collections process. Number 5, a comprehensive report detailing the data protection mechanisms deployed by MasterCard and Visa multinational payment systems, including the geographical location of their data storage services. And number 6, Mr. Speaker, is a report examining the billing currencies utilized by MasterCard and Visa card with a focus on adoption of local currency billing to safeguard foreign exchange. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Chair Finance. Any member? Owen Bayer, tell Chair Finance 2 weeks to bring a response.
Obliged, Honorable Speaker.
Joyce Kamene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request for a statement regarding the status of Matungulu Farmers Company Limited. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Department Committee on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives regarding the status of Matungulu Farmers Company Limited, which is in Muthesia, Masinga Sub-County. Honorable Speaker, Matungulu Farmers Company Limited was established as a land buying public company with 114 members and acquired land in the year 1969 and 1970 financial years. The company remained largely inactive until 2011, when the new directors were elected. Since then, the company has only held 2 annual general meetings in 2012 and 2013. In 2019, the title deeds were issued to members but later revoked as they were found not to be genuine. In 2025, concerned members sought clarification from the Registrar of Companies and discovered that the company's original file had been closed and a temporary file opened. The temporary file indicated that in January 2025, the directors resolved to convert the company from a public to a private entity with only 46 members. On this, 5 members were allocated 20 shares each, amounting to 100% ownership, while the remaining members were not allocated any shares. Further, one of the directors listed in the file is deceased. These developments raise concerns about transparency, governance, and protection of members' rights in the company. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee of Trade, Industry and Cooperative on the following. Measures being put in place by the government to reissue the title deeds for land acquired by Matungulu Farmers Company Limited in 2019 and later revoked. Circumstances under which the original company file was closed and a temporary file opened without the company resolutions by the Registrar of Companies. 3. Measures being undertaken by the Registrar of Companies and the other relevant agencies to safeguard the rights of members who have been unlawfully excluded from the company. And finally, steps being taken to ensure that directors who may have engaged in fraudulent activities be held accountable. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Trade and Industry. Marianne, can you bring a response in 2 weeks?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Ade Wario, North Horr. Member for North Horr. Request dropped. Responses. Karemba. Yes, I allowed you to request for a statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. A request for statement regarding delayed payment of farmers in Runyenje's constituency by the New Kenya Cooperative Creameries, New KCC. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock regarding delayed payment of farmers in Runyenje's constituency by the New Kenya Cooperative Creameries, New KCC. Honorable Speaker, the situation facing dairy farmers in Runyenje's constituency due to delayed payment from the New Kenya Cooperative Creameries, New KCC, is a matter of serious concern. Despite consistent supply of milk to the company, farmers have experienced delays in payment of their dues of up to 4 months. These delays have adversely affected their livelihoods and pose a significant threat to the sustainability of the dairy farming within the constituency. The lack of timely payments has constrained the ability of farmers to maintain their herds, meet operational expenses, and sustain household incomes, thereby undermining economic stability in the region. It is therefore imperative that the new KCC takes immediate and decisive action to address these delays, restore confidence among farmers, and reinforce the resilience of the dairy value chain. The long-term success of dairy farming and the livelihoods of rural communities that depend on it relies on restoring trust through timely and complete settlement of all dues owed to farmers. The new KCC should therefore endeavor to ensure that farmers are paid promptly. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on the following. 1. Measures being taken by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development to ensure timely payment of dairy farmers. And 2. Timelines within which farmers in Runyenje's constituency will be paid their arrears. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Karemba. Yes, Julius. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, just to appreciate the request of statement by our honorable friend, but to ask that when the statement is read, let it not be limited to Runyenjes. This is becoming a serious problem, actually, that calls upon the minister in charge of new KCC to come to this house and explain why from July up to now, farmers have not been paid, and they are constantly supplying milk to KCC. Our farmers are almost pouring the milk because there is nowhere to take it. When they take it to KCC, KCC sells their milk but does not give them their money. So this statement should not even be couched as diplomatically as the member is saying it. They should just tell us when they are paying the farmers, because it's a nationwide thing. It is not limited to Runyenjes.
Yes, Sigay.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate
You are joyriding. Just go ahead and ask what you want.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. You know, the other day, I asked for the same statement. And you remember, Mr. Speaker, a team of a committee went to Sotik. And that is exactly one of the issues which were raised. The farmers in my area have the same problem. Mr. Speaker, we would like to understand the statements which are being given here without any action. And this is a sure way of killing KCC, Mr. Speaker. We need to have some serious discussion on how to make KCC function. Otherwise, we are going to have KCC going away and dying the way it died earlier. Thank you.
The Chair Agriculture. Where's the Chair Agriculture? Is it cooperatives? Yes. And trade. Marian?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, it is a trade committee that handles KCC, so within the same 2 weeks, we should be able to give the statement here.
Okay. Omolher.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 442C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding a tragic explosion that occurred in Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, on 31st October 2025, 3 children were involved in an explosion following detonation of an explosive device in Alungu in Mandera County, in Lafay constituency. The incident resulted in the untimely death of a 9-year-old child while undergoing treatment, while 2 other children sustained severe injuries, including a 5-year-old child who tragically lost an eye. The heartbreaking incident occurred as the children were herding livestock and unknowingly came across a strange object which detonated upon interaction. The devices are alleged to either have been left behind by ex-militia on training or planted by cross-border terrorists. This incident has caused immense grief and fear among residents, raising concerns about the possible presence of other unexploded ordinances and the overall safety in the region. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1. A report on the circumstances surrounding the detonation of an explosive device in Alungu, Lafayette constituency on 31st October 2025. 2. Immediate measures that the government is taking to support the affected families, including medical and psychological support. 3. Measures being taken to ensure the safety of the residents, including identifying, recovering, and safely disposing any other unexploded ordinances. And 4. The long-term preventative strategies that the government is putting in place to enhance community awareness and strengthen collaboration between security agencies and local administration in identifying and reporting suspicious or hazardous materials. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Tongoyo, when can you bring a response? 2 weeks?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Thank you. Next, a response to Naomi Wako's statement by Tongoyo. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, Speaker.
Sorry. Yes, Umolher. Give her the mic.
The statement is directed to Defense and National and Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee.
Not security.
Not security.
Okay. Owen Bayer inform Defense and Foreign Relations to bring a response in 2 weeks.
Much obliged, Honorable Speaker.
Tongoyo, before you make a response, let me acknowledge Mudangari Primary School from Mavioya in Muranga in the public gallery. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Thank you. Tongoyo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In regards to the statement being sought by the member for Marsabit County, Honorable Naomi Wako, who had sought in particular the disappearance of Mr. Galgalo Baganja Malicha, and she wanted to know investigation into the disappearance of the said person, the action being taken by the security agency to update the family and ensure the missing person is expeditiously traced and reunited with the family, and the perpetrators of violence act are brought to the books and the measures put in place to ensure the safety of residents of Sololo Sub-County. Honorable Speaker, on the 31st August this year, Mr. Guyo Yacho, the chief of Galole location, reported a shooting incident at Sololo Police Station via OB number 1431, 8th of 2025. He reported that a gang of about 10 with masked faces and dressed in military gear aboard a Land Cruiser and another brownish saloon vehicle, both without registration number plates, had invaded a residential plot within Golole Center. And police officers from Sololo Sub-County visited the scene and established that a Borana male adult, Mr. Galgalo Boganja, was allegedly abducted during the incident. Further, the victim's wife, Dami Bonaya, was physically assaulted by the attackers. An assault and abduction report was booked at Sololo Police Station via OB number 639-2025, and the injured was escorted to Moyale Sub-County Hospital where she was treated and discharged in stable condition. Investigation into the matter commenced immediately, and 3 witnesses' statements were recorded, and a signal of the missing person was generated and circulated as a search of the victim began. Subsequently, an inquiry file number 4 of 2025 was opened by the DCI, Shololo Sub-County, and the preliminary investigation established that the vehicle used by the assailants could not be traced since they had no registered number plates, and the area lacked CCTV coverage, which complicated the effort to track their movements before, during, and after the incidents. Although the witnesses provided statements, their accounts did not clearly describe or identify the person involved, and no additional witnesses have come forward with critical information that could further assist in the investigation. And the police inquiry file, Honorable Speaker, file number 4 of 2025 remain active with ongoing efforts focusing on tracing the victim known as associates, frequent locations, and liaising with the relative and friends. And the case is still under active investigation. On the second, Honorable Speaker, so far no leads has been established regarding the whereabouts of the missing person, and the case is under investigation, and the police shall update the family on any new development concerning the whereabouts of the victim. And Honorable Speaker, on the measures being taken in the residence of the sub-county of Sololo, the government is employing several measures to enhance security in Sololo, to include intensifying both mobile and foot patrol, establishing temporary checkpoints and along key routes and access points to monitor the movement and intercept any highway criminal activities, and enhance surveillance to ensure quick police response, and the revitalization of the community policing committees to strengthen collaboration between community and the police, and the community engagement and public sensitization through the public barazas and consultative forum to sensitize residents on security matters. Signed by Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, EGH, Cabinet Secretary for Interior. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Naomi Wako.
Thank you. Response is not satisfactory at all, because even after that, 2 or 3 other people have been abducted, and Sololo is a very small town. For the minister to say that they have not even been able to trace the vehicle and also to trace the abductors. So I want to plead that the investigation goes on and they give it proper attention. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Speaker, and as I indicated in the statement, we'll keep giving the update to the family whenever we get.
Professor Guyo Jaldeza, Tongoyo, you have a statement ready?
Yes, I do, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I need your indulgence. This statement was sought before, actually, we break for recess. And I actually had indicated that he will prefer to have the committee visit the area for fact-finding. And we had actually prioritized. We know you just reported today. And we are trying to prioritize to have the committee visit the area as a matter of fact-finding.
The member came before the committee?
We had talked with him.
Okay. Professor, is that...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the chair is a bit confused because we raised the question here, though we talked, and I had appealed that the statement which I got today, we had agreed that the committee needs to visit the area to verify for themselves. I also shared with him some photographs of the act of arson by the police. And it's only good that they visit the site and come to know.
So to cut a long story short, Professor, you want them to visit the site?
Exactly.
Engage with them, then they visit, then thereafter they bring a comprehensive statement.
Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, next order.
just echoing someone who is contributing to your motion. Next is Senator Consolata Nabwire Wakwabubi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for according me this opportunity to contribute towards the motion. Most of the issues have been tackled, but I'll have a rider to what the 4 senators have presented. One, concerning the monetary stipend, I think there is also need for us to have a supportive infrastructure and welfare of these interns, in the sense that we need to enhance other aspects, like maybe having some health insurance for them, having some transport subsidy for them, and also maybe improving on the digital tools, since the youths are so much in the digital space. I want also to add the issue of having transparent reporting and oversight mechanism, which are some of the issues that can be added to that motion by Senator Cherargei, that we need to have some public defender, somebody who can be a voice of the citizen to articulate the issues of the youths, and that can be in form of an ombudsman or ombuds lady, because I'm gender sensitive. Then there's also need to have a legal or rather regulatory backing to push the legal rights of the interns in their internship spaces, since some of them tend to encounter some injustices, and therefore it is important to have such like a framework. So the internship guidelines can be amended to some level. And from my perspective, or rather from one of the committees that I serve on national cohesion, equal opportunity, and regional integration, I would also propose that we have an equitable distribution of internship opportunities, so that we also decentralize them to the counties or back to the grassroots. Because we find that most of them are centralized in urban centers like Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kisumu. So that hampers the participation of other maybe youths. As a Kenyan and as a leader and a representative of the people, I want to point out that the youth bulge is tantamount to a demographic bomb that we are just sitting on. Instead of looking at the demographic dividends that we need to fetch as a country, we are silently watching. And therefore, that is why we are having a lot of unrest from our young generation, because they are idling. That is why we are having them engage in substance abuse, drug abuse, and all that, trafficking, and engaging in various vices. So as a country, it is important that we utilize this youth population to boost our economic growth and to boost development, since I tend to believe that youths are highly productive as compared to the advanced age where I also belong. But I'm not negating the fact that I need to be here. I need to be here so that I articulate issues on their behalf back at home. So I would also advise that maybe the Ministry of Public Service, in consultation with the Human Capital Development, can carry out a cost-benefit analysis to establish if this thing is viable. Let us look at it and carry out a cost-benefit analysis, because it will actually propel us to do informed choices, or rather informed decisions to accommodate our youths. We need to establish clear transition pathways that have got realistic job prospects, so that the youths don't find the internship spaces just for free labor or as empty spaces for running errands, because they also need to build on their skill sets and to develop their skills. We also need to promote innovation and maybe have some rewarding, to reward outstanding interns. So we can create an incentive scheme whereby we also reward them, appreciate them. You can give them certificates or even opportunities for further training. We are wasting our young population. We are really staring at having brain drain instead of brain gain. So as a country, I think we need to look at that. There are so many points, but I know most of them have been captured by the distinguished senators. So we only keep beefing up. So personally, I also want to accede to this motion by Senator Cherargei, and I acclaim you for proponing that motion. I support.
Very well, Senator Joyce Chepkoech, Korir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think much has been said by the honorable colleagues, but let me take a special. Let me congratulate Honorable Cherargei for the efforts that he has really put forward in terms of making sure that a number of issues are addressed. Honorable Speaker, the motion that is before us is a motion that is affecting our youths. And I want to say that a number of colleagues have mentioned a number of things. Honorable Speaker, the request by the motion mover in terms of making sure that there is increment in terms of the salaries or the stipends that are being given, I think, Honorable Speaker, with the common sense, life has become so hard, and it's only prudent if we can try as much as possible. I know this is an issue that is going to affect the two houses in terms of budgeting, and it will be prudent for the two houses to give a special consideration to this, because this is the only way that we can assist our youth. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, a number of youths are suffering back at home, and I want to say that these youths have utilized their time. A number of them are so learned, only to find no space to work, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that despite the challenges or despite the efforts that has been put forward by the government in making sure that they have lent a hand to a number of youth through a number of programs, ranging from affordable housing, which I think a number of youths are operating there. I know, Honorable Speaker, they are paid peanuts, which at the end of the day, it might not sustain them, but though it's a way where I think the government is trying as much as possible to make sure that it is assisting them. I know a number of ministries also have been able to observe a number of youths, including the TSC, which has played a key role in terms of making sure that a number of teachers are observed, but still a number of teachers who graduated back in 2010, 2011, the P1s, are still within the ground, Honorable Speaker, and attended, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to say that it is indeed a challenge, despite the fact that we have all these programs. The ministries have even invented a way of taking the youths abroad, but there should be a clear way. Sometimes they take ages for them to even actualize the issue of documentation, which I want to believe if they are given room during For example, if a public service give them the opportunity to serve as the interns, it should be they should be given the first priority when it comes to jobs abroad, because at the end of the day, they have gained the experience, they have gotten the opportunity. Now they can exit so that others can also get the opportunity to be trained and gain that experience, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say the fast tracking of the documentation is what we are also requesting the Ministry of Labour through the assistance of our committees, so that at least when these youths are done with their induction or the internship, at least they can be able to transit to the next place, because there is no need of them just being given the opportunity to serve for 3 months and then they just come and furnish again within the villages. So I think it would be prudent for us as a government, to make sure that at least there is a proper transition of these interns to a better place. And not only that, Honorable Speaker, I also know there are a number of programs. For example, the Nyota program that is trying to assist those who have not even gone to schools. I know it's a challenge. We don't know, of course, the government is trying to make sure that at least there is some engagement with the youth, but I also want to believe that it is always prudent for them to be taken through some induction, so that even if they are going to be given these monies, they will be able to utilize and make sure that it changes their lives, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are a number of youths that are stressed in this country, and they have even engaged in drugs just because they just want to avoid the responsibilities, because the responsibilities are so much compared to what they are earning, Honorable Speaker. I want to say that I will also encourage the government to really try, especially the Minister of Trade, to really try assist the investors in terms of the requirements, so that at least we can have a number of investors who can assist us and develop a number of factories that can also allow our youth to really be employed and earn their daily lives. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that it is good that we also have funds that also enables our youths to do the innovation and do their developments, like the Youth Fund. We have the Hustler Fund, which I don't know how far it has gone. This was a fund that was established also, which was supposed to assist our youth, but I know a number of them could not even could not continue because of the challenges that they are getting because of lack of inductions, lack of room to also be given opportunity to learn from those who are well established, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, I just want to say that I support this motion, and I request that maybe we go further in terms of making sure that we allocate the budget so that we can allow the CS to really implement and make sure that our youths are really attended. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next is Senator Mofayagata Yamwenda.
Speaker, I have been around for some time. I thought maybe I'm a bit forgotten. Honorable Speaker, this is a well-thought motion by my good friend Senator Cherargei. It's a motion that touches on a number of issues that are bedeviled in the country right now. Honorable Speaker, as much as the Public Service Commission is doing a great job in absorbing these young people as interns, much more needs to be done in this country. We are sitting on a very serious crisis as a country, because I think unemployment is a menace which is eating into our society every other day. We are producing young ones from the universities, we are producing ones from tertiary colleges, we are producing ones from middle level colleges, and the job opportunities in this country, Honorable Speaker, are very rare, very scarce. It's a matter that needs a lot of dispensation, it's a lot of discussion. We need to have a very serious conversation as a country on the future of this nation as far as unemployment is concerned. Honorable Speaker, I am shocked. As a Speaker, protect me from the two neighbors. They are making some loud discussions when I'm contributing to their motion. Honorable Speaker, when I looked at the stipends that are paid to these young people in terms of interns across the board, the PSC, the Teacher Service Commission, I don't know how those minds brought up those figures into being. How do you expect somebody to survive in Nairobi with 15,000 shillings in this current situations in this country. Honorable Speaker, it is very pathetic that a government agency, for that matter, would sit down and decide to pay a graduate 15,000 shillings or 7,000 shillings for that matter in towns like Nairobi, towns like Mombasa, or any other big town for this country, even in the rural areas, because I think the living standards across the country is just the same, whether you're in Nairobi, whether you're in rural areas. I think people have embraced modernity. I don't know where in this country, in Nairobi, in any other part of this country, Honorable Speaker, you can get a house, a decent house of less than 10,000 shillings. So I think as much as, Honorable Speaker, we say the Public Service Commission is trying to absorb these unemployed youth, then we need to caution them to review some of these space that these boys are getting. On top of that, Honorable Speaker, as a country, I have captioned some honourable members talk of exporting labour to some other countries. But of course, Honourable Speaker, we also have to have a discussion on how we are supposed to put up job-absorbing opportunities for our young people. We have so many opportunities that are supposed to be exhausted, that are supposed to be exploited in this country. Honourable Speaker, if you go to some counties like Tharaka Nithi, where I come from, you rarely find a place where a young person would wake up one morning and say he has gone to maybe to look for an hustle and gets maybe 1,000 shillings or so across the board. Maybe save for some other few places where people would go to coffee factories or tea factories or milk factories here and there. So we need to make sure that our counties have industries. We have to make sure that counties have factories, and all counties have different potentials. There are some counties with some great potentials with some mangoes. We have some counties which are agricultural and doing so many issues here and there. And that is basically the Honourable Speaker. That's why we are supposed to make that conversation and make sure that our country is industrialized. That's the only way out we can make sure that our youth are absorbed in the job market. Honourable Speaker, we as politicians, and I think everybody is a witness to that effect. If you go to the villages today, maybe with a big car, high-end cars like the ones that we drive, the Plandos and so forth, the people that you get along the route, along the roads, everywhere, are the young people. And most of them are graduates. Most of them have some very skilled skills. And they are there, jobless. They are there. Actually, most of them have even fallen into praise of being used by some politicians here and there as goons, as hooligans. Purely because they want to make a living out of some funny undertakings. So, Honourable Speaker, I think it's a time bomb. It's a serious menace that as a country we are supposed to have a very serious discussion around. Honourable Speaker, it is very pathetic that today, you know, as parents, when you strain, you want to take your child, your guardian, through the education system, the university, to all the colleges that you are sure of, you are not even sure whether this child will get a job. There is no job guarantee in this country anymore. The ones that are there are very rare, very scarce. And Honourable Speaker, it's an issue that is supposed to bring on board great minds as a country to make sure that we have a very clear conversation on how we are supposed to make sure that this joblessness in this country, which has been developing the country, is addressed once and for all. That's the only way out, Honourable Speaker. We can even minimize crime. Crime is not even the preserve of uneducated anymore. The most complicated crime that we have, I know of a certain country that I don't want to mention, where some young people have created some very serious systems and they are sipping money out of some bank account from some unsuspecting clients. So, Honourable Speaker, you know, I don't want to. Honourable Speaker, again, is trying to disrupt me. He's trying to give me some directions. I don't want to take his directions. I know what he's talking about, but I don't want to mention any county, Honourable Speaker. But I know of some a certain county in this country where we have experts, some young guys who have been to school. Yeah, they are there. They are there, Honourable Speaker. So crime is no longer a preserve of the people who are not been to school, right? The crime today in this country, Honourable Speaker, has become very complicated because of the high level of technology. Yeah? We have even some fraudsters. Some people, recently I was witnessing a scenario in my county where some people driving big cars, very educated guys, went around calling people that they are registering for them for SHA. Yeah, once you give them your phone, they whip. I mean, they get money out of your M-Pesa account from the bank. Very, very high-end technology. Honorable Speaker, the only way how we can be able to address some of these things is to make sure that we must engage our young people, we must engage our youth in meaningful engagement, in meaningful employment. That's the only way how we can make sure that this country moves forward. And I think it's a collective responsibility for every person, for every leader, for every politician, for every person who cares to matter, to whoever cares who cares to care about this country, Honorable Speaker. So I think, Honorable Charagai, thank you very much. I think we are supposed to take this, because the motion, Honorable Speaker, is supposed to guide. It's not even supposed to compel. You know, Honorable Speaker, we can have a very wide the interventions, very wide discussions about the motion, but that motion may end up finding itself in our dustbins here without even finding its way to any government for that matter. So let's not do these things in futility. Let's make sure that this motion now graduates into even a bill. So where the bill is supposed to be compelling some of these institutions to make sure that we address. It is very shameful, Honorable Speaker. 60 years down the line, we are still struggling to make sure that even we cannot even feed our young people who are out of school. It's very shameful, Honorable Speaker. 60 years down the line, the country is still struggling to make sure that we cannot even absorb our young people in the job market, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Charagai, make sure that this motion is pushed to be consumed by the advantages so that we can have our young people. Because we can't have a situation where you pay somebody 50,000 shillings. No, it's a shameful, Honorable Speaker. So I think with those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support the motion, and let's not have a motion finding its way to the dustbin, just like very many other motions that were processed in this House. I hope this motion is going to capture the attention of the intended government entities so that maybe our young people are taken care of, they are being respected. It's very disrespectful, Honorable Speaker, to pay a graduate 15,000 shillings, in this era of economy. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I strongly support.
Senator Mofaya, you know there is another time someone told another senator that he's doing the first term in the Senate. But the advice you are giving Chelagei, who is a seasoned legislator, is actually the route you could have taken to help these interns. But maybe you get the advice from Senator Gataya next time and do the right thing. Senator Keroche Tabitha.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me the opportunity also to support this motion brought by Senator Cherangei. The Public Service Commission, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Public Service Commission for providing internship opportunity to many of our youth in various government departments and agencies for a period not exceeding 1 year. I agree. This program has provided practical experience to graduates and enhanced employability. I want also to thank the private sector, because I know also they've been providing this internship opportunity to many of the youth, to many of our youth, and they've been doing it freely and getting money from their pockets. And I think my next move would be to ask the Public Service Commission to partner with the private sector to ensure that we get more numbers of our youth getting the internship opportunity to enable them get the practical experience to be able to get to their next level. I know our government, Kenya Kwanza, is working very hard, headed by our able president, Dr. William Ruto, is working very hard to ensure that he transforms this country. We've seen a lot of things happening in the country, and one of it is the housing, where it's providing a lot of jobs opportunities to our youth. But after the internship, I think the Public Service Commission should be worried that after the internship, where do these youth of ours go? So as our president is working very hard to transform this country, my wish is he continues supporting the local entrepreneurs, creating that enabling environment for even foreign investors, local investors, to ensure that after internship, our youth can get jobs opportunities. Without job opportunities, even these kids of ours, when they get that internship, and the day they are told to go home, I think psychologically they are affected to know that they've gotten the practical experience they were looking for, and they are now better people of this country. They stand a big chance to be employed, but when they walk around the country, they don't get those jobs available or the opportunities. So our president, being an entrepreneur, I know this country has many entrepreneurs. All they need is just to get that opportunity so that they can expand and ensure that the job creation is available in our own country. We need to create job opportunities for our youth. In our manifesto, I know it was to industrialize this country, and it is doable. It is doable. I don't know whether Senator Joyce has left. He talked of the Nyota program. You're around. The Nyota program is just for the people who are not educated. It is not meant for the people who are not educated. It is for everyone. So I want to talk to the youth. They take the opportunity that is provided by the government, the 50,000 shillings they can start a business with. I think by now the youth knows that the white-collar jobs are no longer available. We need now to become more innovative so that they can create jobs. They can be job creators, but not job seekers. And I think what the Kenya government is trying to do is to provide that opportunity with the Nyota to ensure that our youth becomes job creators, but not job seekers.
You want to be informed by Senator Joyce Korir. She wants to inform you something.
I don't know whether she wants to inform me.
Are you interested to be informed?
A correction. No? Maybe you can correct it after I finish.
Yes.
Yeah, just correct it after I finish. Yeah, because for me, it's on how the government is doing all it can do to ensure that our youth now become job creators, but not job seekers. As we continue deteriorating in this country, I think the youth now stands a chance to ensure that they become part and parcel of the industrializing this country. And I agree with Senator Cherangei that the step that the youth are given, the interns are given, is very retro, the 15,000 shillings. So it needs to be increased to the 30,000 shillings. And then they put in place mechanism to promote and reward innovation by the interns. Because if the interns becomes innovative, I'm very sure they will be our next entrepreneurs in this country. And of course now, provide also the number 3, maybe is to provide on how we keep a track on our youth as they do the internship, how many are getting jobs opportunities, how many are creating their own jobs, so that we can try now, the youth can know that there is a track record put in place to ensure that we are following them up, so that they don't get frustrated and we see what we are seeing, depression in our youth. We try to prevent that. But what I can say is that what Senator Changei has brought in as a motion, it is something we as senators, we should not leave it at this, because as many of us have agreed, we are sitting on a time bomb where if our youth are not, the job opportunities is not addressed, I think it will be a problem in the long run. But it's not even wrong, it is soon. So we should address how we can create job opportunities to our youth. But I think the government is able, and headed by His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, is burning his midnight oil to ensure that we transform this country. So the first thing is to ensure that job creation goes hand in hand to ensure that our youth are well catered for, and after they graduate, they get jobs to ensure that they can move forward. And the youth to ensure that they also go out of their way to become job creators, but not job seekers. Even as we got employed and we left the jobs, and we became who we are today because of believing in ourselves. So they just need to believe in themselves. They have an opportunity, they have a government that is providing money, free money, to do business in this country. During our time, we never got even a free shilling when we came. So we were to think and go to banks and knocks. But the money, the Nyota program, I can assure them that it is enough money to ensure that they can start the retro business that they can start, and they become job creators but not job seekers. And within a short while, they'll be employing another one person or two people. In the long run, they'll be having many people. And if the Public Service Commission partners with the private sector, I believe we'll be giving more internship to our youth, because what the private sectors have been doing, they've been doing it themselves freely. I've been a CEO of a company for the last 25 years, and I know every year we had the 10 interns. So it means if we are supported by the government, I'm sure these companies can give more interns to many people. And it is true, especially when they go to companies, they have a different mindset, and if they see things have been done by other people, when they leave the gate, they also think twice on how they can also become entrepreneurs of their own country. So I support Senator Cherengei, and thank you so much. And I believe and I hope this motion, you push it further to ensure that the youth job creation is part of what will be helping the government to think out of the way out of the box on how our youth will be catered for on job creation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Senator David Wakoli, Wafula.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii ambayo umenipa ili nichangie kuhusiana na mishahara ambayo vijana wa awamu ama vijana wanaofanya mazoezi katika taasisi mbalimbali, mishahara duni ama pesa finyu ambayo wanapata. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesikiza michango ama hoja za waheshimiwa, hususan yale ambayo serikali ya Nairobi ama serikali kuu yapaswa kufanya ili kuinua maisha ya vijana ambao wamepewa kazi kwa muda mdogo, miezi mitatu. Ieleweke fika Mheshimiwa Spika kwamba katika nchi ya Kenya kuna awamu mbili za serikali. Serikali inayoongozwa na Mheshimiwa Daktari William Ruto na serikali za kaunti zinazoongozwa na magavana na mabunge ya kaunti. Changamoto ambayo ningependa kuwapa wenzangu na serikali za kaunti, Mchakato mzima wa kuboresha maisha ya vijana na kuwapa nafasi ya kuboresha taaluma zao haipaswi kuwekwa kwa mabega ya serikali kuu peke yake, kwa sababu serikali za kaunti vile vile zinapewa pesa kutoka serikali ya Nairobi, wanakusanya ushuru ama kodi kutoka kwa washikadau katika kaunti, na vile vile mabunge ya kaunti vile vile, Mheshimiwa Spika, yana mamlaka ya kutunga sheria kama jinsi tunavyotunga, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi nawapa changamoto, Mheshimiwa Spika, maseneta wenzangu, kwamba tuwarai magavana vile vile watenge fedha za kuwaajiri vijana kwa muda mchache jinsi serikali ya Nairobi inafanya kwa majukumu ambayo yamegatuliwa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Sekta ya kilimo, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni sekta ambayo kaunti zikikita mizizi vizuri, vijana wengi walio katika vyuo anuai vya ukulima wanaweza kuboresha mapato na tija ya wakulima katika kaunti zetu. Kaunti zilizo na mifugo, kaunti zilizo na samaki, kaunti zilizo na ng'ombe na kuku, kaunti wanaopanda mahindi, ngano na kadhalika, Mheshimiwa Spika. Niliona mfumo walioandikwa na serikali ya Nairobi na kaunti, wale wakulima wa biashara, kwa kibobo agropreneurs. Sawa, kuna mstakabali ya Nairobi na kaunti, lakini tunataka kuona serikali za kaunti zikichukua vijana ambao katika shule anuai na kuwanyoosha katika kuendeleza ukulima biashara katika kaunti zetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Rais anazuru kaunti zote humu nchini akizindua mfumo wa uboreshaji nyumba zinazoweza wananchi wanaweza kujikimu kulipa. Ningependa kuuliza wenzangu na magavana, ni vijana wangapi katika vyuo anuai ambao wamesomea ufundi wamepewa nafasi ya kufanya kazi wakipata ujuzi huku wakisoma? Hizi ndizo mbinu ambazo tunaweza wapa vijana nafasi. Tumeona taasisi mbalimbali za kilimo kama Kalro, Kari na taasisi ambazo zinatoa madawa ya kupambana na magonjwa ya mifugo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Taasisi hivi zimechangia kivipi kuwapa nafasi hawa vijana ili wanaporudi nyanjani wanachangia uboreshaji wa nchi ya Kenya? Sasa mimi nikimalizia, Mheshimiwa Spika, mfumo huu umekuwepo miaka mingi, lakini vijana nimeona katika simu yangu ya rununu wanauliza ni mbinu ipi, mfumo upi, mkakati ipi wao hutumia kuwachukua hawa vijana ambao wanapata japo shilingi 15,000. Hawa vijana wanatoka pembe zote za humu nchini. Iwapo sisi wote ni wa Kenya, vijana hawa wanasema wanapochapisha majina ya vijana hawa wawe sura ya nchi ya Kenya, kwamba vijana kutoka bonde la Ufa wawepo, vijana kutoka kwetu Ingoo kule Bungoma wawepo, vijana kutoka Nyanza wawepo, vijana kutoka Turukana na Mombasa wawepo, ili wote wanapofanya kazi katika taasisi za serikali waweze kujua kwamba nchi ni moja na nafasi zipo kwa sisi wote kujenga nchi pamoja, lakini isiwe kwamba wanapokutana ni kama indi moja katika jangwa lisilo na mmea wowote, Mheshimiwa Spika. Sasa mimi naungana na Senator Cheregei kwamba serikali ya William Ruto inasema tuungane pamoja, tupige vita ukabila, na yote inawezekana iwapo nafasi hizi zitapewa Wakenya wote pasipo kuzingatia misingi ya dini, ukabila, falsafa na umenke, yani gender kwa kibombo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hayo mengi naunga mkono hoja ya Mheshimiwa Cheregei. Asante sana.
Senator Olekin, are you ready now?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to this motion, which, in my view, requires a complete transformation and complex policy shift from the current one, Mr. Speaker. And when we talk about a comprehensive transformational policy shift, remember that it's got pros and cons. The question that we must ask, Mr. Speaker, is that since this program was started, to be able to absorb interns into permanent jobs. Because the question, Mr. Speaker, here for me is not about the benefits. I've read the motion as presented by the distinguished senator from Nandi, but for me, the question is not about an internship program. It is about what happened after these qualified Kenyans, who the courts in this country have actually ruled that if an intern is performing a task which is aligned to their skills, they must be treated as employees and must be protected by the law. So, Mr. Speaker, the question then begs, what do we need to do? What policy shift do we need to adopt as a country in order to be able to ensure that future generation or the younger generation are taken into consideration, are provided with job opportunities? The first question we ask is that since this program began, how has the public service been able to absorb? How many people has it been able to absorb? How many interns have they been able to place in all government ministries? And the answer is very simple, Mr. Speaker. Every year, the public service, the Ministry of Public Service, absorb about 3,000 to 3,500 interns and place them in all government ministries. In fact, Mr. Speaker, it was only in 2023, or I think maybe 2024, that the ministry absorbed about 8,000 interns and placed them into different government ministries. When you look at the level or the percentage, it was only about 7.71%, and now the ministry has moved to about 8%. Is that really having a solution? No, it is not. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to think seriously. I've listened to my colleague, Mofire, coming in with a very good proposal. And the proposal that Mofire has brought is that Mr. Distinguished Senator Cherargei, this motion will end up in a dustbin. It is not going to be anything unless we come up with a legislation that guarantees interns jobs. You know, you're talking about increasing their benefits, you know, but in fact, you're not even looking at the entire welfare. You're only talking about them receiving 15,000 to 30,000 shillings. What about paternal leave? What about maternity leave? What about sick leave? You know, those are some of the things. What about innovation benefit? Those are some of the things that we need to do. And that is why I began my arguments this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, by saying that what we need is a complex, transformative policy shift in how we deal with these interns. I have a few proposals, Mr. Speaker, which I hope that the distinguished senator will be able to note thoroughly and ensure that this motion does not remain as a motion, but it is transformed into a piece of legislation. And by then, I would hope that this House will have all the 24 delegations so that we can move. Because, Mr. Speaker, what I'm witnessing here, I never witnessed in the last parliament. I want to be very candid. In the last parliament, our side and the other side would be empty during the end of the term. But now it seems everybody is busy out there trying to figure out, and it's very difficult. If you look at the order paper, Mr. Speaker, we have so many bills and we cannot be able to pass them. The proposal that I want to put on this motion are as follows, Mr. Speaker. Currently, and I hope the distinguished senator will give me an ear, and my colleagues would listen to this. Currently, the Kenyan government has proposed a tax incentive to the private sector, where the government will give a rebate of up to 50% of the salaries paid to private companies that are providing internships to young students, young Kenyans who are graduating. That is the path that we need to take, Mr. Speaker. Government will not be able to solve this problem. There is no African country that has absorbed all interns. It is not possible. The government is not an employment bureau. The government should make it easy, should create an enabling environment for the private sector to be able to create jobs. So, Mr. Speaker, one of my proposals would be that the distinguished Senator Cherargei from Nandi County should not only look at a review of the guidelines of the public service, but to propose a complex transformation of the policy on interns to guarantee jobs. And that way, the only way that the private sector will be able to play ball is if the government comes in with a tax incentive. Let's say, currently there's this program, I hope people know. If a company employs up to 10 interns, takes in 10 interns, they can receive up to 50% rebate on the salaries that they pay. We need to be able to encourage. You know, Mr. Speaker, the day I become president of this country, and that day will come, is the day when we'll be able to practice what we preach. Because today we don't practice what we preach. We preach and preach and preach and forget that yesterday we said A, B, C, D. We have to scan our horizon, our current horizon, to see what is going wrong. Come up with scenarios, build scenarios, and ask ourselves, what if we did this? And the scenario that I want us to build here today, Mr. Speaker, is what if the Ministry of Treasury comes out there during the budget days and reading the budget and says that private sector, you will receive a tax rebate if you employ or if you take in interns to be able to end unemployment. What will happen? Mr. Speaker, this is not quantum physics. The first answer would end unemployment in this country, would reduce unemployed youth who are running around in this country. I was listening to Morfire, and Senator Morfire, Mr. Speaker, if you listen to Senator Morfire, he was actually speaking sense. He said that because of challenges that a lot of youth are facing in this country, they become innovative. They become hackers. They are able to get into your account and continue living a good life. You're working your butt off. And then by the time you go home, you think you have so much money. But because they're unemployed there, they use their skills to be able to get some money for them to continue living their life. So, Mr. Speaker, there are so many things that we talk about in this country, but if the day we practice what we preach is the day that we will see this country change. Yes, we come up with new innovations, but we are not rewarded. Yes, the government come up with programs that gives youth 50,000 shillings to start a job. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to equate that to what the former senator from Kiambu County did when one day he had one of his empowerment program and he donated pigs to people. Those pigs, instead of being used to multiply, those who received them slaughtered them and they had food for a week. So what if you give a youth 50,000 shillings today? You know, they might decide, I'll eat this a little bit. Maybe I'm used to eating 5,000 a month. Maybe I'll eat this for 10 months and I'll survive. This is a big challenge, Mr. Speaker. And this is a challenge that all of us here individually and collectively must sit down and critically think about solutions. Mr. Speaker, I'm currently grappling with a very complex issue where I have 100 students who I'm sponsoring at the university in Masai Mara. And I'm just saying to myself, once these students graduate, what am I going to do with them? If I give them some small seed capital, will it help them? If I place them on internships, will they be able to end up getting jobs? Or will I have just wasted my money and other partners' money to be able to educate these youth? That is one of the biggest problems that I'm having at the moment. And when I see these motion, the only thing that I can think about, Mr. Speaker, is coming up with a legislation, not a motion, that clearly identify a path to full employment, cognizant of the fact that government is not an employment bureau. Mr. Speaker, as I end, I just want to give some certain statistics which are important. That since 2019, this program has only placed 25,200 interns, an average of about 3,000 to 3,500. The absorption rate has only been about 7%. What happened to the other 93%? Are they wallowing in poverty or in debt? So we need to be alive to the fact that it is very, very, very difficult for the government to be able to absorb all these interns. We must review the guidelines, Mr. Speaker, but not only before we develop a legislation, if we can be able to implement fully, we need to review the guidelines to include the following, Mr. Speaker. One of the concerns that the distinguished senator is having is interns who are in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu. Well, what about those ones who are in hardship regions, Turkana, Narok, Nandi? You know, we need to think thoroughly and critically and think outside the box and say it is now time for us to review this policy and include, number one, sick leave, number two, paternal, number three, maternal leave or maternity, and most importantly, align the interns with their skills so that they can be market ready. That is critical, Mr. Speaker. When we were interns, I worked as an intern at the European Business News in London. And the first thing I did was to make sure that the newsreader who was reading, I would print the news and take the news to the newsreader. During the process, I'll be able to understand how a script is drafted, what is important. I was aligned to my practice, to my career, and I was market ready. So, Mr. Speaker, that is important. It is also important, Mr. Speaker, that once we are reviewing this policy, to develop a standardized recruitment process that is very clear, that it will be able to provide equal opportunities for everyone. There are young people who need just an attachment. Mr. Speaker, just add me 30 seconds, I finish my word. An attachment. This attachment, unless they know you, unless they know the senator, they cannot be able to get. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this motion, but I do hope that Senator Cherogei will take the advice we've given. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ezena Remaratian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to contribute to the motion by the Honorable Senator for Nandi, Senator Cherargei. Mr. Speaker, as the youth senator, I cannot afford not to put my word across as far as this motion is concerned. And I want to agree with my colleagues that there is a need for a policy change in this country. But even most importantly, there is a need for a shift in mindset. Why do I say this? Mr. Speaker, interns go through a lot, and most of them are actually breadwinners. Most of our youth working in the government offices, in various government institutions, are breadwinners. And I'm sure if we were to rank countries, the level of depression of the young people in countries globally, Kenya will rank among the top.
This is why you see them very, very much aggressive on social media, aggressive on the streets. It's because of the level of frustration that our young people are going through. Mr. Speaker, we need a shift in mindset in our country as far as the administration is concerned. We need to think about programs and projects that will create a producing economy rather than a consuming economy. We have so much potential in this country, Mr. Speaker. We are capable of being one of the largest agricultural producers across the continent and globally. We have a very good climate. We have a very good soils. We have enough rainfall in most parts of this country. We have enough land, Mr. Speaker. And if we are able to convert these idle, huge tracts of land into agricultural fields, into plantations, we are able to secure the future and the future of our country as far as food security is concerned. It is so painful when I see sometimes that we have to import maize, we have to import some agricultural produce, when in reality, many of our young people are sitting idle. And these are hardworking people, because I know most of the youth right now are late millennials and Gen Zs. These are people who are very hardworking and can get into business. Mr. Speaker, I have just come back from Ethiopia, and we realized that Ethiopia has beaten us as far as agriculture is concerned, because we were there with our Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries Committee. There is a policy in Ethiopia that the administration has put in place that restricts land fragmentation. And what is the consequence of this? The consequence is that we have enough land for production, and citizens are constricted into planned housing development. And once you put citizens to live at a certain place, we have enough land for people to produce. And shockingly, Mr. Speaker, in Ethiopia, agriculture is making up over 50% of the country's GDP. Now you tell me, how much would Kenya make? Given that we are gifted in everything, we have minerals, we have the manpower, we have brains. Our youth have brains. They are able to spur development in this country and take us to the next level. Mr. Speaker, I also believe that the government has done quite a lot as far as trying to reduce the level of unemployment in this country. But who is talking about it? Who is marketing what the government has done? How many people are talking about the programs that are put in place? Who is this bridging the gap between the government and the youth? Because there is clearly a huge gap. When you hear the president talking about the things he has done to secure the future of this country, to secure the youth, and you ask yourself, so who is telling the youth what is being done? Because they are totally oblivious. There is need, in my view, there is need to create an independent ministry for the youth affairs. Because, Mr. Speaker, the youth make up the largest demographic in this country. We make up the largest voting bloc in this country. We make up over 75% population of Kenya. That means we cannot afford to have the youth ministry, the youth affairs being put under, and I don't know, the under culture and the sports. Those are very diverse things. I don't even see the correlation between the three. If we have an independent youth ministry, we are able to have a budget for the youth, we are able to streamline all government operations through the ministry so that we are able to take care of the business of the youth, because it's a very huge business, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank my party leader, Raila Odinga, because he had a dream, Mr. Speaker. Baba had a dream in the last campaigns, and he wanted the Ministry of Youth to be an independent ministry. Because, Mr. Speaker, the youth occupied a very central part of his heart, and he understood that the country is going nowhere if we are not talking about the youth. The country is doing nothing if we are not prioritizing the largest demographic of our country. I have worked in several ministries, state ministries, before I became a senator, Mr. Speaker. And I remember at one point in a state department, I was working under the Department of Finance. And one of the ladies could barely even see the computer, Mr. Speaker. She was struggling to peep what was in the computer. Such a person needs to retire, Mr. Speaker, because youth are jobless. But she could not be fired. Why? Because the boss, the top dog in that state department, was from her tribe. And I was the only young person in that state department, in the Department of Finance. And I was given a lot of workload. Being punished for being young, being punished for being new, and even maybe for being a minority. Yet, such opportunities should go to very many young Kenyans, very many youth who are your children, for your information. Mr. Speaker, if the administration is able to shift its mind and start thinking of producing rather than consuming, we will start thinking about the manufacturing sector. We will start thinking about factories. We will start thinking about farms. Kenyan youth are very talented and gifted. You can see what they are creating with AI. Is this AI controlled within the Republic of Kenya? If we advance technology, there is so much potential for our young people in technology. Kenya is, I think, ranking as the second largest consumer of internet continent-wide, after South Africa. Not even Nigeria has beaten Kenya. Why? Despite having the largest population, thank you. Despite having the largest population, over 250 million, compared to the 50 million of Kenya, Kenya ranks as the second consumer of internet continent-wide. Because in Nigeria, internet is expensive. So how are we utilizing the affordable internet in Kenya to benefit our youth, to benefit the largest demographic in our country? It's the same thing I always say when campaigning. You cannot think of taking care of a nation without taking care of the largest population of that nation. And when you secure the youth, you give them opportunities in agriculture, in technology, in manufacturing. We will be killing so many birds with one stone. One, we will be securing the future of Kenya as far as food is concerned. We will no longer be borrowing. Isn't it shameful for a nation to borrow food from outside when our youth are sitting idle? When we have land sitting idle? We should be thinking of projects in water, providing water to nomads in the north so that we can farm with our lands. How many investors are coming to set up factories in Kenya? What are we doing with our policies to ensure that our country is an attractive destination for manufacturing? What are we as state officers doing to ensure that when an investor comes, you don't first of all ask them for corruption, for bribery? When Aliko Dangote was trying to set up a plant in Kenya for cement manufacturing, what happened? Mr. Speaker, he ran away because of corruption. How many opportunities would the Dangote cement factory would have brought to the young people in Kenya? How much frustration is being put on our local investors who have been here for so long? Mr. Speaker, there is a need to start thinking of our youth as our children, as people deserving of a decent life, a decent wage bill, decent employment. There is need for NYS to be made mandatory, and these young people paid something while they are in school. If you look at all the nations that have developed since the time immemorial, their story of success and growth has been rooted in investing in the future of the youth. Look at the West African countries that have just gone through a coup. These leaders have taken initiative to invest in agriculture, in manufacturing, I have seen Burkina Faso relaunching its airline for the first time, Mr. Speaker. While Kenya, we are sitting here being a nation that has developed years ago, but we are still being defeated by small nation. How much are we producing to be able to borrow for loans, to be able to borrow? Personally, I'm very embarrassed to borrow something when I know I can actually get my hands in the mud and get it. I have sold pancakes and mandazis because I couldn't get a job in this government because I did not know anybody. When I speak for the youth, it's because I have lived and walked this journey. And this was like 6 years ago. It was not long, Mr. Speaker. In this country, we must shun nepotism. We must shun tribalism. My fellow senators, be ready to employ somebody whom you are not related to. State officers and government agencies should be able to employ somebody even if they do not know them, as long as they are qualified. The requirements to be employed should be reduced, Mr. Speaker. You cannot continually impoverish families by not giving the young people whose parents and families have impoverished themselves to school them, and still they have to wait for close to 10 years to get a decent job. And then the same government wants to take care of the same parents that it has impoverished. This is a repetitive circle of poverty, which we have the power as a nation to change. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, this motion has surpassed its time allocated. So, Senator Charagai, the move has 15 minutes. If you are magnanimous enough, you can share with Senator Catherine Muma. You have 15 minutes with the Senator Catherine Muma and Senator Mandago Jackson. The choice is yours.
Mr. Speaker, you know I'm always very generous. I'll allow 3-4 minutes to Senator Muma and 3 to 4 minutes to Senator Mandago.
Very well, Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you so much, Speaker, and thank you, Senator Gerard Gay, for the opportunity to contribute to this. First, to thank you for bringing this motion, and this motion is pregnant with issues beyond what you have raised. And for every speaker who has spoken here, I hope you will be able to pick something and you will move beyond this motion and bring something more substantive, akin to a policy, possibly a legislative framework that can assist us. Honorable Speaker, the government, the internship program as guided by the Ministry or the Commission on Public Service is a drop in the ocean of what is required. If you look at the numbers that have participated in this program since 2019, you are talking about possibly less than 2% of what is required. Now, internship is not always, I don't think it's already 3 minutes, surely. Surely, what are you trying? Now, internship is not necessarily after qualification. You will notice that in most universities, nearly all, internship is a pre-qualification requirement. What you do not know, or what many of us do not appreciate, that we have many students in this country who have never qualified, got their degrees because they never got an opportunity to intern. Many of them. So even as we are looking at these issues, and I'm cognizant of the time, so I will hurry, I would want us to be able to come up with a law that will give fair opportunity and equal access to every graduate or learning student to be able to intern, not because they know somebody, but because it is their right to go through that if they must qualify. Honorable Speaker, for this to happen, we need a deliberate cooperation between industry, private sector, and the universities and the tertiary institutions. But even as we do so, there is a second issue in terms of abuse of internships. Honorable Speaker, we have workplaces that actually abuse internship. They employ fewer than what is required on their workforce so that they can pay less to interns and use the interns' time. We have doctors who continue to be paid internship salaries. We even have some other professionals continuing told you can stay on condition you stay with your salary as an intern. In my view, those are abuse of labor practices. So if we do this law, we must also be able to protect interns who are vulnerable from workplaces that want to abuse their resource to enrich themselves. Honorable Speaker, as I said, there is an even bigger problem. If we use last year's graduated students, 2024, about 1 million left O-levels. And only 300,000 were uptaken in the tertiary institutions and universities. We have a whooping 600 and something thousand who have not been taken in any tertiary institution, and we have idle VTCs by governors. And Senator Hezena, you will be sad to know when we met with Samburu, Samburu has only one VTC that was built in
Senator Mandera.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Senator Cherargei, for allowing us to use your time to contribute to this motion. Honorable Speaker, first let me say that internship is a very good program. However, the current numbers that are being taken by Public Service Commission is way below what we would expect PSC to do in order to help the many young people we have in the country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, currently PSC takes 9,000 interns. That translates to about only 6 in every ward in this country, Honorable Speaker, but the distribution has not been fair and equitable, Honorable Speaker. My proposal to Senator Cherargei, even as he considers this, Honorable Speaker, number 1, is to make sure that all internship positions are distributed per ward level to ensure there is reach to every part of this nation, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, number 2, interns should not only be placed in public institutions, they should also be placed in the private sector, but paid by government. Honorable Speaker, this is to ensure that we don't take interns just for the sake, to make them idle. In some organizations, you find they're being treated as T-boys, messengers, T-girls, and so forth, instead of the interns actually participating in the areas they trained in, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is need in this country, and we must have a candid conversation as a nation, and Parliament, Honorable Speaker, Senate must lead this conversation, that we have to increase the number of interns from 9,000 to around 300,000 for it to make sense in this country. Honorable Speaker, that will call for a budget provision. It will call for a cut in some of our expenditure in the budget, Honorable Speaker, even if it calls for cutting on infrastructural development, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that these young people are given opportunity to acquire skills further and be engaged meaningfully, Honorable Speaker, even as they mature. This period will also allow them a period to mature, Honorable Speaker, and be able to make progress in life and be able to make some quality decision even as they live under supervision in government. Honorable Speaker, my proposal is to have interns taken for 3 years. After 3 years, Honorable Speaker, they should be given a 3-year contract. What does that mean, Honorable Speaker? It means the unions in this country must also wake up to the reality that there are very minimal employment opportunities currently existing. It will be therefore profitable for this country to make sure that we are able to take these interns to the next level by giving them contracts. They must be ready. We must change the employment model. we have in the country. We are not going to stick to permanent and pensionable when it is not a reality, Honorable Speaker. What is the point of sticking to permanent and pensionable when in a year, public service will only recruit 5,000 people? We should now move to contract. Honorable Speaker, as a measure on that, so that we're able to achieve, we should freeze employment in public service and state departments and parastatals and provide the subsequent accruing funds for internship, Honorable Speaker, and make it possible for these people to get. Honorable Speaker, we must also realize that the current public service of Kenya does not reflect the face of Kenya. This internship is an opportunity to make sure we set aside 150,000 together for the marginalized and bring them up in a speed manner to make sure we have sufficient workforce from all the communities in the country. Honorable Speaker, there will be no other opportunity. This internship will provide that opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask Senator Cherargei to also consider, in this internship program, Honorable Speaker, let me say that the question people will ask is, where will the money come from? I have proposed to Senator Cherargei, we must consider a cut in the money we are spending on roads. There is no need to do a tarmac for everybody to go to Honorable Speaker, so that we can have these interns. Honorable Speaker, there is a money lying somewhere, and some banks have been enjoying this money quietly for a while. This is money accruing from unclaimed assets, Honorable Speaker. As we speak today, that money is close to 30 billion. Some banks somewhere are just enjoying interest rates. That is a free customer who has given you 30 billion. We can utilize that 30 billion on internship program. Government can always budget 2-3 billion to pay the assets that people claim. But these that has accrued over time, Honorable Speaker, we consumption to subsidizing production. That is how interns are going to be supported, and that is how this country is going to move forward. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Cherargei.
Senator Cherargei, now reply. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For this opportunity, I want to thank you and many colleagues which I'll mention, but let me make the following observation. One is, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank colleagues who have taken time. The issue of youth unemployment is a ticking time bomb. Mr. Speaker, I've noticed that most Kenyans or most people don't understand that young people are segregated into 2 or 3 groups. One, there are young people who are graduates and looking for jobs. Mr. Speaker, there are young people who are in border sector or informal sector who are doing businesses and agriculture. Mr. Speaker, there is the final group of youth who are still school-going youth, who want bursary, who want support. Mr. Speaker, the same energy we used to organize empowerment programs for the young people in border sector and other sectors to start up their business is we must use the same energy to give opportunities to many young people who are graduates, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I agree that the role of Public Service Commission should be extended to county governments and private sector. This collaboration, and I want to appeal to government, that any private sector, Mr. Speaker, who wills and ready to take in turns from young Kenyans in this republic, Mr. Speaker, will be able to give them tax incentive or tax exemptions so that they can pay young people in internship, Mr. Speaker. I believe 15,000 or 25,000 to the PSC interns is not sufficient. We must live within the economic realities and ensure the young people earn from 50,000 and above, Mr. Speaker. I agree they must be provided with transport subsidy. We must also consider providing digital tools to the interns, Mr. Speaker. We must also consider them in giving them health insurance, especially enrolling them, Mr. Speaker, to the SHARE program, Social Health Authority program, Mr. Speaker. We must also ensure there are mechanisms or incentives or protecting patents to innovations that are done by interns, Mr. Speaker. And I want to distinguish, Mr. Speaker, because when these interns are working, they sometimes do innovations that must be protected by the intellectual property law of this republic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm aware there is also consideration of leave and off days, Mr. Speaker, and even maternity leave or paternity leave, because the fact that they're interns does not deny them their labor rights as per Article 41 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. I have noted that government has really tried, even with the introduction of Kazi Maju, Mr. Speaker, the introduction of Nyota program, the introduction of Asala Fund, Mr. Speaker, to try and provide opportunities to the many young people. But this one does not capture graduates. Mr. Speaker, we are targeting graduates so that they can have opportunity. Be it the graduate of certificates, be it the graduate of diploma, be it the graduates of degree, Mr. Speaker, we must be allowed. Mr. Speaker, number 4, we must audit how many young people have employed under PSC. Mr. Speaker, it is sad that the distribution of internship slots is not uniform in the country. We must be pushed for equality and equity and ensure every ward in the Republic of Kenya must be given a slot in the PSC interns and county governments interns and the private sector, Mr. Speaker. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, and I want to inform the House that out of 250,000 graduates, the PSC only takes interns 9,000, Mr. Speaker. That's less than 10% of 250,000 graduates that we are having, Mr. Speaker. I agree, even the NYS youth, Mr. Speaker, you see them, they assisted us, and I want to thank the National Youth Service. You saw whenever we have problems, we have big functions, like even when we were receiving Baba Raila Amolo Odinga remains here in Parliament, in Kasarani, in Nyayo, in Bondo, Mr. Speaker, in Kondele, and Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu. Most of the workforce support, Mr. Speaker, were from the NYS youth. So I want to call upon the Ministry of Interior to ensure that anybody who has gone to NYS, they must and should be transited to the police, paramilitary training, Mr. Speaker, and even to KDF, Kenya Defense Forces, so that we don't lose these young people who have been trained, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number 5, and finally, is to acknowledge, I know you have received these SMSs because I am your friend. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the JSS interns, junior secondary schools interns, the moguls, Mr. Speaker, that we have had you. You don't need to spam our phones with SMSs, Mr. Speaker. The 20,000 JSS interns will be confirmed by January 2026 as per the presidential directive, Mr. Speaker. I am aware, Mr. Speaker, that they are paid merely 17,000 per month, Mr. Speaker. I received an SMS from a junior secondary school intern, a Mugul, Mr. Speaker, in this Nairobi, that is a teacher. That 17,000 cannot sustain the family or even buying uniform or even clothes, Mr. Speaker. Until he was telling me, Mr. Speaker, maybe you can add me 30 seconds to conclude.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, and that JSS intern, and I know they are in Meru, they are all over the country, was telling me they cannot even buy clothes until when they go to classroom, children chide them and they tell them, mwalimu amerudia nguo ya jana, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the sad reality. That is the self-esteem, Mr. Speaker. Some of them are losing spouses to our babas, Mr. Speaker, and sponsors in this city because of the money. 17,000 cannot sustain, Mr. Speaker, their livelihood. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the following senators, and I know Parliament does not exist in vain. Parliament should and must ensure. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Senator Okenyuri, Senator Eddie Okey, Senator Karen Nyamu, Senator Mutinda, Senator Otsosi, Senator Amida, Senator Medu, Senator Jeruyot, Majority Leader, Senator Sifuna, Senator Wambua, Senator Abbas, Senator Manso, Senator Wakwabubi, Senator Korir, Senator Muma, Senator Mandago, Senator Lemaletia, Nesena, Senator Ledama, Senator Wakoli, Senator Karanja Tabita, Senator Kataya, for the invaluable support, Mr. Speaker, so that we can move into the future. So I want to assure the instance, the Parliament will stand with you and will ensure they are confirmed to permanent and pensionable. Mr. Speaker, understanding order 66.3, I request that the putting of question be deferred to a later date at the convenience of the House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Your request is given to you. So,
take this opportunity to welcome all Kenyans and our international visitors to the third edition of the Ma Cultural Week celebration that happens annually. This year's motto is promoting Ma cultural expressions for socio-economic development, and the venue is slated for Amboseli National Park in Kajiado County, and it is an all-system go. All the preparations are on course. This is supported by our county governments and the national government as well, and we'll be hosting, the president will be attending the occasion. So we welcome you, Kenyans and our international visitors to Amboseli to celebrate with us the iconic Ma culture.
This year, we're going to celebrate our Ma culture in Kajiado at Amboseli National Reserve, promoting Ma cultural expression for socio-economic development.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Kijo Ma Sintai Orgeretilang. Karibuni wote.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
The Far East, the Middle East, the West, and even the African continent, all are welcome. Ma Sintai Orgeretilang. Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.